Welcome. Let me ask you something that might hurt. How long have you been learning English? And in all that time, how many real conversations have you had? How many times have you actually spoken to someone in English? Be honest. Most people spend years learning English but never actually speak. Why? Because they're waiting. Waiting to be perfect. Waiting to be ready. Waiting until they know enough. But here's the brutal truth. Perfect English doesn't exist. And while you're waiting for perfection, life is passing you by. Today, I'm going to show you why perfectionism is the enemy of fluency. And I'm going to show you how to break free from this trap forever. This is not just a video. This is your liberation. This is the moment you stop waiting and start living. So don't just watch. Connect with this video. Because by the end, you will understand why imperfect action beats perfect inaction every single time. Before we begin, let me say this. This video is powerful for your English too. Because when you embrace imperfection, you finally give yourself permission to grow. So get ready. Let's begin. The problem? You're chasing something that doesn't exist. Let me tell you about a man named Karan. Karan studied English for 10 years. He took classes. He read grammar books. He memorized thousands of words. He was obsessed with being perfect. Every time he wanted to speak, he would stop himself and think, is this sentence grammatically correct? Am I using the right word? Will I sound stupid? And because he could never be sure, he never spoke. He waited and waited and waited for 10 years. One day, his company hired a new employee. The employee had studied English for only 2 years, but this employee spoke in every meeting, made mistakes, used wrong grammar, mispronounced words. But the bosses loved him. Why? Because he communicated. He shared ideas. He contributed, while Karan sat in silence, perfect in his mind but invisible in the room. Karan finally realized something painful. His perfectionism wasn't making him better. It was making him invisible. He had spent 10 years preparing, but 0 years practicing. And preparation without practice is just procrastination. The truth: native speakers make mistakes all the time. Here's something that will shock you. Native English speakers make mistakes constantly. They use wrong grammar. They say, me and him went, instead of he and I went. They forget words. They say and like every few seconds. They mispronounce words. They mix up sayings. They break grammar rules. But do they stop speaking? No, because they know something you don't know. Communication is not about perfection. Communication is about connection. The goal of language is to share ideas, to express feelings, to connect with other humans. And you can do all of that with imperfect English. Let me give you an example. Imagine someone says to you, yesterday I go to the market and I see my friend. Is the grammar perfect? No. It should be went and saw. But did you understand the message? Yes, completely. Now imagine someone who says nothing, who stays silent because they're afraid of making that mistake. Who communicated better? The person who spoke imperfectly, because imperfect communication is better than perfect silence. Your goal is not to speak like a grammar textbook. Your goal is to speak like a human being. And human beings are messy. We make mistakes. We stumble over words. We forget things. But we keep speaking anyway. And that's what you need to do too. Why perfectionism keeps you stuck forever. Let me explain why perfectionism is so dangerous. Perfectionism creates a mental barrier. Every time you want to speak, your inner critic says, wait, that's not good enough. You need to be better. And so you stop. You hesitate. You stay silent. This happens once, then twice, then 100 times. And over time, staying silent becomes your habit. Your default mode becomes not speaking. And the longer you stay silent, the harder it becomes to break that silence. Because now you're not just afraid of making mistakes, you're afraid of speaking itself. This is the perfection trap. It tells you it's protecting you. It tells you it's making you better, but actually it's keeping you imprisoned. You become a prisoner of your own mind. And the sad truth is, most people stay in this prison their entire lives. They know English, but they never use it. They understand everything, but they never speak. And one day they look back and realize, I wasted years being silent when I could have been speaking. Don't let that be you. The solution: progress over perfection. At Pro English Zone, we teach a different philosophy. Progress over perfection. We don't care if you make mistakes. We don't care if your grammar is wrong. We don't care if you sound awkward. We only care about one thing. Are you speaking? Because every time you speak, even imperfectly, you're building fluency. Every mistake you make is a lesson. Every awkward sentence is practice. You don't become fluent by waiting. You become fluent by doing. In the 6-month Fluency Challenge, we start with listening therapy. For 2 months, you train your brain to understand English naturally. Then, in months 3 and 4, you practice shadowing. You repeat what you hear, out loud, every day. And here's the key: you will make mistakes. Your pronunciation won't be perfect, your rhythm won't be native, but you will speak anyway. Because that's how you improve. Not by studying more, but by doing more. By the time you reach months 5 and 6, something beautiful happens. You're no longer afraid of mistakes. You're no longer chasing perfection. You're just speaking, naturally, comfortably, confidently. Not because you're perfect, but because you've practiced being imperfect so many times that it no longer scares you. This is real fluency, not perfection, but freedom. The 6-month Fluency Challenge. Permission to be imperfect now. You're probably thinking, but how do I stop being a perfectionist? Great question. The answer is simple. You need a system that encourages mistakes, that celebrates progress, that rewards action over perfection. And that's exactly what the 6-month Fluency Challenge does. For 6 months, we will guide you to speak, even when it's uncomfortable. We will give you permission to make mistakes. We will show you that every mistake is progress, and by the end, you won't just be fluent. You'll be free, free from the fear of judgment, free from the need for perfection, free to express yourself however you want. This is not just about learning English. This is about reclaiming your voice. But here's what you need to know. The challenge is coming soon, and spots will be limited. So if you're tired of being silent, if you're ready to speak imperfectly and proudly, you need to act now. Subscribe to this channel. Turn on notifications, because when the challenge launches, I will announce it here first. This is your moment. Don't let perfectionism steal it from you. Hit subscribe now. Let me ask you something. Are you a perfectionist? Do you stay silent because you're afraid of making mistakes? Write your answer in the comments. Your honesty will help others realize they're not alone. Thank you for watching this video. I'm proud of you. I'm proud that you're ready to let go of perfection. Remember this: perfection is not the goal. Progress is the goal. Every mistake you make is proof that you're trying, and trying is the only path to success. Native speakers make mistakes. Children make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. The only people who don't make mistakes are the people who don't speak. Don't be that person. Speak imperfectly. Speak awkwardly. Speak with wrong grammar. But speak, because the world doesn't need your perfect English. The world needs your voice. Subscribe now. Join Pro English Zone and get ready for the 6-month Fluency Challenge. Your imperfect, beautiful, powerful voice is waiting to be heard. Stay strong, stay focused, stay natural, and I'll see you in the next video.